Hey, this is Brother Eric with True Roots Ministries. Today we're talking Torah, common man's Torah. This is a basic Torah teaching that is designed to help the common person apply it to their daily lives. Today's portion is called Yitro, or Jethro. This is Exodus chapter 18, verse 1 through chapter 20, verse 23. All right, so let's get into it. We're going to move ahead here to Exodus chapter 18 and verse 13. So to set this up, Moses and the children of Israel are out in the wilderness, and they are at the base of Mount Sinai. And Moses' father-in-law comes and he brings his two sons, and Jethro is meeting with Moses, and he's hearing about all of the wonderful things that the Lord has done for the children of Israel. And he witnesses something that's really interesting. So let's jump ahead to chapter 18, verse 13. It says, "And it came to pass on the morrow that Moses sat to judge the people, and the people stood by Moses from the morning unto the evening. And when Moses' father-in-law saw all that he did to the people, he said, What is this thing that thou doest to the people? Why sittest thou thyself alone, and all the people stand by thee from morning unto even? And Moses said unto his father-in-law, Because this people are come unto me to inquire of God. And when they have a matter, they come unto me, and I judge between one and another, and I do make them know the statutes of God and his laws. And Moses' father-in-law said unto him, The thing that thou doest is not good." All right, so let's stop there. So essentially what's happening here is Moses has to sit in the place of a judge, hearing the different cases that people are bringing against each other. And he's sitting from the morning until the evening. Now think about this. You've got 2 to 3 million people out in the wilderness, and you've got one guy who's stuck judging the cases between the people. So something I find really, really interesting about this portion is that really under the surface here is something that's very telling about what was going on in the wilderness. Moses, this guy, he's sitting here every single day from morning to evening hearing cases. What's that tell us? Well, the children of Israel are out there bickering, disagreeing with each other, and bringing cases against each other because they can't find ways to find a common ground or to mediate with one another. Now, what is this? This is called self-government. Okay, so what they're having to do essentially is go to Moses, and because they can't find a common ground or a compromise between each other, or one party is refusing to do what is fair and just and right, or both parties are, they've got to go to Moses, and Moses has to tell them, give them a sentence. So what we can derive from this is that the hearts of the children of Israel were not right with each other. Now, what's really interesting about this portion is baked into this Torah portion is Exodus chapter 20, where God gives Moses the 10 Commandments. Okay, so if we think about when Jesus was standing before the Pharisees, and they asked him, what are the 2 great commandments of the law? He said, number 1, love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, and all your strength. And number 2, love your neighbor as yourself. On these 2 commandments hang all the law and the prophets. Now, he was basically quoting what's called the Shema, which is starts in Deuteronomy 6:4, and that is coming on the back of Moses repeating the 10 Commandments. So the 10 Commandments essentially are, the first half are how you love God, and the second half are how you love mankind. Now, the purpose of this Torah portion is not to go into the 10 Commandments. Most people are very familiar with them, and we ought to be keeping all of them, including the 4th commandment, the Sabbath day, honoring the Lord. The purpose of this commandment is to show us that the heart and the essence of God's law is me governing myself. It's me having the integrity within my heart to do the right thing before God and with my fellow man. Okay, so let's see what Jethro says to Moses here. He says, verse 17, "And Moses' father-in-law said unto him, The thing that thou doest is not good. Thou wilt surely wear away both thou and this people that is with thee, for this thing is too heavy for thee. Thou art not able to perform it thyself alone. Hearken now unto my voice, I will give thee counsel, and God shall be with thee. Be thou for the people to Godward, that thou mayest bring causes unto God. And thou shalt teach them ordinances and laws, and shalt show them the way wherein they must walk, and the work that they must do. Okay, so let's stop right there. The essence of what Jethro is telling Moses here is that he is to teach them the law and how they ought to live and how they ought to walk. And it's their responsibility to govern themselves. You see, the framework of God's law is a mechanism that holds all of society together. It's essentially the glue that creates a stable and secure and prosperous society for all people. And the heart of God's law is me and you governing ourselves. And that's the essence of the American system. Okay, so we're going to see that that the American system that we've been blessed to grow up in and that is slipping away right now is one of self-government. And one of the main reasons that it's slipping away is because people are refusing to govern themselves. Now, a law that's worked into this universe is that there will be law regardless. Okay, so if we are unable to govern ourselves, ultimately a culture will descend into tyranny and they'll end up with a dictator, because there will be order regardless of whether that's me governing myself or whether that's somebody mandating in a harsh way how things ought to be governed. There will be order in the earth. Okay, so let's now move ahead here to verse 21. Moreover, thou shalt provide out of all the people able men such as fear God, men of truth, hating covetousness, and place such over them to be rulers of thousands and rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties and rulers of tens, and let them judge the people at all seasons. And it shall be that every great matter they shall bring unto thee, but every small matter they shall judge. So shall it be easier for thyself, and they shall bear the burden with thee. Now, what is that? That's representative government. You see, brethren, our American system is a Torah-based system where it's founded upon self-government. I need to govern myself. And then we have representatives when matters are higher than us and matters of state and matters that affect communities and whatnot, where we elect representatives to govern on our behalf. And it was the same thing in the Torah-based system. Okay? So it says, verse 23, if thou shalt do this thing, and God command thee so, then thou shalt be able to endure, and all this people shall also go to their place in peace. So Moses hearkened to the voice of his father-in-law, and did all that he had. And Moses chose able men out of all Israel, and made them heads over the people, rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens. And they judged the people at all seasons. The hard cases they brought unto Moses, but every small matter they judged themselves. Okay, so we have the basics, essentially, of a Torah system that is undergirding our entire American system. And the heart of it begins with us governing ourselves. And so you see that as law and order and specifically self-government begins to break down, you have to have more and more harsh laws in order to restrain the people. Okay? So now moving on ahead to the Ten Commandments, starting in Exodus chapter 20, you can see here that the underlying connection between what Moses was experiencing and what Jethro had witnessed was the fact that people were not doing what was fair and just and right with each other horizontally. That's the latter half of the Ten Commandments, and with God vertically, because all law starts in our heart. And it starts with how we are going to honor God and submit to his rule and his reign and worship him in that manner. And that translates out to how we interact with people. And we're seeing this degradation in our society as a result of these things starting to break down. Okay, so this is a basic Torah teaching. I hope you've enjoyed it today. Please like and subscribe. It helps us in the logarithms. And we look forward to you joining with us again, and hopefully we can continue to do these basic Torah portions for the common man, the common man's Torah. Thank you. Goodbye.